it is. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Good Morning Football Weekend presented by Allstate. We are celebrating the rest of Week 11 and, of course, the weekend. I'm Colleen Wolfe with Michael Robinson, D'Angelo Hall, Mike Garafolo. We have 3 hours to get into all of the awesome matchups coming your way. It's going to be a great show. Happy to see your 3 faces out there. Make sure you guys tweet us throughout the show. Hashtag GMFB, @GMFB. Let's get into the games because we have some good ones to talk about here. We have 4 games between teams with winning records at 1 p.m. Eastern. The rematch of last year's divisional round upset special, Titans-Ravens at 4:25. Aaron Rodgers against the Colts' #1 defense coming off that game in Jacksonville for the Packers. And then on Sunday night, AFC West rivals. I'm so excited for this one. Chiefs versus Raiders in Vegas. That is super saucy. And Monday, 2 of the NFC's best. You got Rams at Bucks. This is an awesome week. So that's where we're going to start our walkthrough, presented by Uber Eats. So when you hear Rams-Bucks, you might immediately think, all right, Jared Goff, Tom Brady, but don't sleep on these defenses. Both top 3 in yards allowed. Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey, just a nightmare for opposing offenses. And then you have Todd Bowles and Tampa, 8th in points allowed. Mike Robb, where's your head go for this game?
Yeah, I'm looking specifically at this Tampa Bay Bucks defense and how they can get after Jared Goff. Jared Goff has not been good when he's been under pressure this year, only completing about 35-36% of his passes when he's under pressure. So, Sean McVay, the goal tomorrow is keep Jared Goff clean, keep the pocket clean so he can have those explosive passes down the football field, and maybe you guys will have a chance. We'll see.
And you know that Bucks defense is going to be flying around like they always do. How about this one? Chiefs at Raiders might be the best game of the week. Now, Vegas had the only pick and the only win against Patrick Mahomes this year back in Week 5. The big story this time, almost the entire Raiders starting defense is on the COVID list right now. We'll find out tomorrow who's cleared to play, and we'll get into that a little bit later in the show. But, Jeezy, is there some bad blood brewing between these 2 squads?
Colleen, start the buses. That's what ticked off the Kansas City Chiefs the last time with the victory lap around the stadium. You know, I checked on this. I said, well, I don't understand. What am I missing here other than this victory lap? I mean, did they moon Andy Reid out the window or something? Was there something else? And all indications were no. It was just that. And I don't gather that anybody even saw it. It was they heard it secondhand that this victory lap was going on. It's not like they were walking to their cars and getting eggs thrown at them or something like that. But whatever it is, Andy Reid felt like he had to bring it up in public. So that's the motivation for the Chiefs. The motivation should be to play better defense than they did the last time around. And I truly believe that they will.
I love that this story is becoming so big and how Andy Reid was not happy about it at all. There's already merch out there, too. Victory Lap merch. Check it out if you so dare. All right, how about this one? We got Packers at Colts, as I mentioned a little earlier. Battle of division leaders here. Aaron Rodgers and a 6th-ranked total offense up against the #1 defense in the NFL. Green Bay scoring over 30 a game, while Indy's allowing less than 20 or fewer than 20 points. D-Hall, what do you want to see in this game?
You know what? I feel like the Packers keep singing that song. It ain't my fault by Master P because they beat the teams on their schedule, and it's not their fault that their schedule isn't very strong. But it seems like just like last year, Green Bay showed me they were good, ran up against a physical opponent in the 49ers, and they not so good. Same thing with Tampa. Ran against Tampa, a physical opponent, not so good. The Colts are a physical opponent, a physical style of football. They play on both sides of the football. I want to see Green Bay respond, man. I know Aaron Rodgers is great, Hall of Famer. I want to see the rest of those guys on that football team on both sides of the football respond to a physical opponent. And this is going to tell me if Green Bay has a chance to win the Super Bowl this year.
D-Hall, now I'm going to have Master P stuck in my head for the next 3 hours at the very least, so thank you for that. Titans at Ravens. Did I do that? All right, a playoff rematch from last year's divisional round. Let me jog your memory here. Derrick Henry ran for 195 yards, sending Baltimore to an early dirt nap for the year. Now, they're both in the playoff mix again at 6-3, but Mike Robb, both teams are flawed, so what needs to happen tomorrow?
Yeah, Greg Roman, offensive play caller for the Baltimore Ravens. Stick to the script. Colleen, you just did a great job talking about Derrick Henry and what the Tennessee Titans did to the Baltimore Ravens in that playoff game. They gave the ball to their guy, Derrick Henry, over and over and over and over and over. Lamar Jackson is not a guy that's going to throw the ball 60 times like you did in that playoff game. He is a 27 or 30 a game passing attempts per game, and he's a 10 rushes per game quarterback. Stick to the script, and you'll get you a win.
Coming off that monsoon game, too, in New Orleans or in New England, that's going to be an interesting one to watch. And finally, this game, Falcons at Saints. It's catching all of the headlines this week. And according to our Ian Rappaport, Taysom Hill, not Jameis Winston, will be the starting quarterback for New Orleans. He replaces Drew Brees, who was put on injured reserve with cracked ribs and a punctured lung. And our James Palmer has more on this one and the surprising news.
On Sunday in New Orleans, all eyes, rightfully so, will be on quarterback Taysom Hill, who reportedly will start for Drew Brees, even though head coach Sean Payton has not made any announcement about who his starting quarterback will be against the Falcons. But whoever the quarterback is, they have a plethora of talent around them. Last year's Offensive Player of the Year in wide receiver Michael Thomas, tight end Jared Cook, the veteran receiver in Emmanuel Sanders. But perhaps it's this year's front runner for Offensive Player of the Year in Alvin Kamara that might be the biggest safety blanket. Cook put it best. He said when Brees has nothing and he needs a check down, Alvin Kamara's there to make something happen. He said when it's third down and he needs a player to beat a linebacker and get extra yards after the catch, Alvin Kamara is there. He said whether it's a sweep or a pitch or a handoff and yards may not be there, Alvin Kamara finds a way to get them. He's on pace for over 800 rushing yards this season and over 1,100 receiving yards. No player has ever done that in a season. It's the matchup of him versus Falcons linebacker Deion Jones that a lot of people in this game believe is the key matchup. The winner of that could bode well and get the W on Sunday in New Orleans.
Thank you, James. Okay, so let's get back to Taysom Hill here for a second. A little brief history lesson on him. Undrafted out of BYU, claimed by the Saints after being waived by the Packers. 0 touchdowns, 1 interception in 18 career pass attempts in the NFL. Pass attempts, not games. But his 5.5 yards per carry since 2017 is 7th best in the league. There's no denying that he can do a lot of different things on the field, Taysom Hill can. And I think everyone was caught a little off guard with the news, the report that Sean Payton was going to go with Hill over Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston, obviously 33 touchdowns last year in Tampa Bay, over 5,000 passing yards. Of course, he had the 30, interceptions too. But, D-Hall, what was your first reaction when you heard this report?
You know what? I was a little taken back because, you saw Jameis come in and Jameis's resume, it speaks for itself. And you saw the Saints kind of deal with this last year, right? And the engine continued to roll right along. You inserted Teddy Bridgewater in there and you were able to still use Taysom Hill the way you typically used him in your game plan. That helped you be better in the long run when Drew Brees came back in. I just think inserting Taysom Hill in now and trying to change the offense a little bit, and then keep guys' chemistry rolling at the same pace and tempo, and then Taysom now when Drew comes back has to step into a new role. I just think there's a lot of moving pieces, but you got to trust Sean Payton, right?
you.